What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. Comedians pitch their conspiracy theories. YOOHOO. I'm Tom Zappi, your host, joined by New York comedian Chris Scopo.
There you go. What's up, buddy?
Thank you for joining the show.
Thanks
this
for
is
having
about 3
me.
weeks in the making, all right?
This is about 6 months in the making. You can't keep canceling. You keep texting me, let's do the podcast. Okay, I'm down Saturday, and then you ghost me.
Yeah, I don't ghost.
You ghost.
Chris is a busy man, all right?
I'm not a busy man at all. I do nothing with my life. You ghost.
I do not ghost. I'm not a ghoster. I've never ghosted in my life, and I've never been ghosted.
I've been ghosted.
I've been ghosted hundreds of times.
Yeah, I mean, I would too if I was with the girl.
How fucking dare you?
Yeah, jeez.
Listen to me. Chris is a light conspiracy theorist. Could be heavy, actually.
Listen, I've been single for a while. So when you're single for a while, you just dive into shit. You just deep dive into stuff. You're like, this is going to fulfill me.
That's honestly a good point. I have never been more into conspiracies than
Have you ever met a conspiracy theorist who's in a fully good, committed relationship?
No.
No, yeah.
Especially comedian, because they're barely in a relationship in general. So a comedian, single, psycho comedian, they just get into conspiracy theories hard. Yeah. And we've had a few guests on who are like, because here's the concept of this show. I'm not that much of a conspiracy theorist, but you pitch me for 10 or 20 minutes, I'm all in. So that's kind of the idea of the show. We've had some people who are like psychopaths, and then we've had a couple people who are like, I think this might be actually legit. Let me tell you why. And by the end of it, I was like, you know what? It makes sense.
They're fun.
They're fun as hell.
Conspiracy theories are so much fun.
And especially if it's thinking that it could be what the crazy theory is the fun of it. Like, it's boring if JFK was just killed by one guy.
How many percentage-wise conspiracy theories do you think are true? I'm going to go like 40.
Yeah, I'd probably say 30 or 40.
40% is true.
So the thing is, some people, like I have my buddy on, he came in with like 5 separate theories, and I'm like, some of these are just so insane, there's no way. But then the more ones where you can get enough data and enough details to really potentially, like, you know, defend it, it's almost like, honestly, it probably is the case. But some are just like so out there, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah, but the other ones are the best.
Yeah, of course. Those are my ones. I'm also big on, like looking into conspiracies, but also just like unsolved stuff, any sort of mystery, like people who went missing or died who were never seen again. Like, I just feel like it's
You like
rare.
that stuff?
Yeah, I like.
You're a white woman.
I'm a white woman.
Yeah. White women love murder shit.
I like murder shit, but I like unsolved. It needs to have never been solved.
See, I don't like the unsolved. It's a cliffhanger I'm never going to see. Like, where's
conspiracy
where's
component.
part 2? Where's the part 2?
Well, that's a conspiracy component. I'll be like, oh, maybe that happened to her, maybe this happened to her, and then I'll go listen to podcasts.
No, I gotta have the answers. I gotta get the answers. When it's a murder mystery, I gotta get the answers because I'm sitting there going the whole time. I'm like, no,
I'm into something.
We'll never know.
There's a couple famous cases, not even murdered. They were never found. Body was never found. Nothing was ever found. So I'm like, so then you bring up theories like maybe they moved and changed their identity. Then that always intrigues me. Then they're like, they murdered, they never found their body. That kind of intrigues me, but not really, because I'm like, how are you going to be able to track them all the way up to the last time they were seen and not find any of them?
You know what's a good one? Jack the Ripper. That's a fun conspiracy theory. Who is he?
Oh yeah, well they never caught him.
They never caught him. They think he might have been a doctor.
I'm sure
that way from the and then he came to America, and then he killed some people. Well, they think he killed some people here.
Never gotten arrested.
He never got arrested. He was a very, very wealthy doctor.
Yeah,
and then he moved over here, and then a couple of the murders were similar. And then all of a sudden he just stopped, and then because I think the guy died or something like that.
I could see that. Well, that's the thing, and also that's a good example because that was like 1800s, so it's even less technology.
Yeah, honestly, if you can't get away with murder in the 1800s, you're a loser.
Yeah, and now it's like if you're getting and now in their 2020s, if you're getting away with murder, you're a fucking legend.
Don't you ever want don't you ever watch a TV show? It's like 1920s and like want to go back in time? Like I would commit so many robberies.
Yeah,
like I just like what do you do?
You can do whatever.
Just catch me. Wait, what do you get me on camera? Doesn't exist yet.
Especially with all the shows that all the white women are into, like the forensic shows. That's the forensic data and all that. DNA stuff wasn't.
Well, I wouldn't want
to
kill anybody. I think you think you're a little crazy with the killing, but I want to rob shit. I want to rob.
I'd rob.
That.
Well, there's no cameras back then.
There's no cameras.
Do whatever you want.
If you went back in time, do you think you could make money with the knowledge you know now?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I couldn't make it.
Well, it depends what you're trying to do.
If I had to play the stock market, I'd be like, is Apple around? I know Apple. Apple's good.
Well, that's the thing. You're going to have all this knowledge, but then you're going to go back in time, and none of the knowledge you have about exists. So you can't really do
I got to go back.
You need to know knowledge about the time you go back to.
I got to go back to like 94.
Yeah.
Get Amazon. That's about
Amazon stock. If you bought Amazon stock in 94 or whenever, I think 94 was the first year. Oh, you could have bought like $5 and now you'd be a millionaire.
Yeah. That's I really think about like there was a TV show on like I would back in time and just play the stock market, and he just knew everything because he studied the stock market. I would just sit there and be like,
those guys fascinate me.
I think Ford's good.
Ford's good.
I think that's good. Is that shareable?
Ford, Amazon, Microsoft.
That doesn't happen until the 80s, though.
I know. And think about Tesla. Tesla didn't happen until 15 years ago. 10 years ago. But
Tesla's another good conspiracy theorist, too. What's that? They think the government killed him.
Killed Nikola Tesla?
He had a lot of patents to, like, solve a lot of issues. Medical issues and, like, mechanical engineering issues. He had a lot of patents for that, and he died penniless in a hotel in the city. And then the FBI came in and took all his information. And who was the FBI agent that came and took his information? Donald Trump's uncle.
Is that right?
Yep.
Oh, we're getting juicy.
Dude,
already.
I got so
Chrissy
many lined up. It's so good.
Chrissy, my buddy came in with a conspiracy theory that I thought was so hilarious, but almost made sense. But Chrissy might come in with some
what was
heaters. It was more of a comedy conspiracy, but he thought that he said that 9/11. The reason Tom Brady won the first Super Bowl and beat the Raiders in that AFC Championship game was because of 9/11, and they didn't want Raiders to win because they like looked at as terrorists, and the Patriots are looked at as like America, and that's why they push him to win the Tuck rule, and then he explains why the Tuck rule is bullshit. It's pretty fun. It's way that's the one that's like way out there.
That's not fun though. That's not a fun one.
It's fun for me.
I know. Come on.
I like it.
That wasn't a fun one.
It was fun.
That's not a good one. Come
Why
on.
not?
This guy stinks.
No, he's a good guy.
Yeah,
he also had the guy, the FBI guy that just died out of nowhere. The Boeing guy. The
Boeing's a good one, dude.
That was his big one. The
Boeing's a good one. I like. You know what's funny? When people just die, I'm like, let's get into it. Like out of the blue. How about the guy that like the Clintons killed, where he was found like 20 miles away from his house, hung and shot himself twice. So that means he hung himself. Then he's like, oh, you know what? That's not good enough. Let's blow my brains out twice.
Yeah, you can't shoot yourself while you're hanging.
Yeah.
Or the guy
shoot yourself twice.
Famous guy Michael something. I brought him up before. He was a journalist who was covering some stuff in the Middle East. Michael Hastings? No. Michael Hastings is still alive. I forget, but he was on. Rogan talks about him all the time. He had some. He was a whistleblower for something in the Middle East because he was a reporter and he was covering something. I forget what it was. And then he's just driving down like La Cienega in LA one day, and his car explodes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Yeah, I've seen that one too.
I always bring him up.
That's a good one.
But he was like, he had some intel. That's the thing. Because I'm interested in guys who you obviously have some intel. Let's get rid of them, like a Boeing thing. But then also people who are just literal nobodies also fascinating.
If I had the information, like that, I would just go to like Boeing, or whatever. Like, guys, just give me like $20. I'm not gonna say shit. Come on, I don't want to. Just give me. I don't like. Hey, I'll walk in there like I know what you do. I want to be alive. Well, I ain't gonna say a word.
The reason the Boeing guy is, another guy just died a couple weeks ago. They think it's the same concept, but he was working for them for 30 years. You know how much stuff you know for 30 years, and then he just retired, and he was happily retired.
At one point,
he just started talking. He just started releasing information about.
Shut your mouth.
And they're saying suicide. I'm like, he's not. There was no reason for him to kill himself.
Just shut your mouth. Yeah. Just shut your mouth. Also, you know what bothers me too? All these CIA spies that are like now doing podcasts and just going on the podcast and just giving out information.
Everything. Well, same with the mob guys.
It's like, yeah, what do you? Well, the mob guys is different because it's kind of public though. That's kind of public. But the CIA guys are just giving out fucking ideas to Al Qaeda. Just giving information constantly. You think Al Qaeda doesn't have a YouTube channel?
Al Qaeda's barely around anymore.
Buddy, ISIS has a YouTube channel. It's popping probably. And, they're on monkey bars. They're swinging.
Well, they're doing it because they're trying to expose the government.
Yeah, but no, it's like, why don't you shut the fuck up and let our... But the boys and girls that are undercover right now, you're just giving out information. Yeah, I saw that guy, the guy with Andrew Bustamante, whatever his name was, with the hair. He's an ex-CIA guy. Yeah. Ex-bullshit, too. Yeah, he's still... And he was at the Schultz show. He was like the after point. I wanted to go up to him like, bro, shut your fucking mouth, okay? This is America.
He was at the show?
Yeah. He went to the show. I went like, this is America. What are we doing here? Why are we giving out information,
dude? But that's the thing with
online.
That's the thing with podcasts now. It's just like everybody is on everything. Like Lex Friedman have these CIA guys on who are just like, or Rogan.
Lex Friedman, put some emphasis in your goddamn voice. Your voice stinks.
He's a robot.
Jesus Christ.
He's a robot.
That guy is the smartest human being I've ever seen in my life. But his voice is just. I mean, I
can't tell if he's for where he's.
He makes me look fun. Like Jesus.
He's always wearing a suit.
Yeah, okay.
He's got the most he's a genius. But like you have to be autistic robot to be that smart. Like you're not just the guy's a friggin' robotics expert from MIT. Probably one of the smartest guys in the country.
Yeah, I know. I wish I had a little kids.
You can't have a genius guy who's also like fun to party with.
Would you trade?
He probably gets banged up.
He gets banged up. He gets banged up. Yeah. Would you trade 25% of like your personality for a little autism, the smartness of your
To make
autism.
you smarter?
Yeah, so you're 25% like more weird, but you're like also like a lot smarter.
Yeah, probably, because I think I'm dumber than I am weird.
No, you're dumb. Yeah, you're dumb.
I'll literally end
Yeah. So like, I think that's good for you.
I'll fight you. I will literally fight you. I've never claimed to be smart, but my personality's not that great to begin with. So yeah, I'd probably do that.
Yeah, I do that.
Because like I got to be able to stay in some conversations here and there. Sometimes I just got to duck out. People start talking about something, I just check out.
I just go right to the cell phone, check the Met scores.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, for anybody watching or listening, Chris is, and I grew up around a lot of Mets fans. Chris is the biggest Mets fan I've ever met, which is already a painful lifestyle to begin with. And then combo with the fact that the guy's diving deep, heavy into conspiracies. It's not a great combo.
I'm lonely, okay?
How about the next conspiracy about the, there's probably a conspiracy about the
Mets?
reason you guys even won in '86. What's his face? The guy who,
Buckner?
Yeah, Buckner. That had to be a whole, that was
I wasn't alive for it, so I don't know.
You were -1.
I was -6 months. It's funny though, like, yeah, the Mets. I'm deep into the Mets. It's not good. It's really hurtful in my life. Like, there are times like I just call my parents up. I'm like, why do I do this?
Are they as big as Mets fans as you?
They're not as big as me, but they're big Mets fans.
But Chris is born and raised Queens, but you're Mets above everything else. Like Knicks come after Giants.
It's Mets. It's Mets like up here. I'd say Giants a little below, and then it's like Knicks and Rangers. But like it's Mets and Giants at the top too. But Mets is number one.
I feel like
you know what it is though. It's like the hot girl that will flirt with me, and I love her so much. I just want to be with her, and she knows it too. And she'll like flirt with me a little bit, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh my god, a hotter guy's here, bye."
They do flirt a lot because they're like start the season out pretty good, and then all of a sudden August hits and it's just
yeah. Also, I was talking to somebody, and like they were like, "Why don't you just root for somebody else?" I go, what kind of person would I go? I think you should look down upon somebody. If I root for the Mets my whole life and then I just switch to like the Yankees,
yeah, I agree with that.
I think I'm loyal. I think it's an honorable trait. You know, ladies, listen up. I'm loyal. I'm caring. I'm loving to a team that I love this team forever.
He's a dog dad.
I'm a dog dad. My dog's named Seaver after the greatest men of all time. So like, I think that's a good characteristic trait that I don't give up on this team.
Is he objectively the best Met of all time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a dominating pitcher. He's a top 5 pitcher of all time.
Yeah, well, I'm the guy who is, I used to be like, I would probably wasn't as busy, but I used to be a diehard, and then I just fell off with everything. Like, I don't care anymore. But yeah, I think if you're rooting for a team for 20 years and then you go for another team because they're better or they're whatever, then you're a scumbag. If you just stop rooting altogether, which is what I did, I think that's fine.
I just gotta see one. That's all I care about before I die.
Yeah, well, you've seen two visits. Right? 2000, 2015.
Yeah, both lost.
15 was a big tease. But that's the thing. The thing is for these miserable guys, and granted, people will be talking shit. The Yankees have been out of, like, haven't even been there in a long ass time. But the thing is, they're so miserable, Mets and Jets and Knicks, that when they do win a championship, God willing, in your lifetime or in the fans' lifetime, it's going to be the greatest feeling in the world.
I will say this.
Imagine the Knicks win, like, in the next 10 years.
Yeah, no, it's going to be bonkers.
The city's going to burn down.
I will say this. The Yankees fans are by far the worst human beings to walk this earth.
That was me for a long time.
They are scumbags. They are pieces of shit. They're not loyal.
We're loyal.
I would say that if you're dating a Yankee, he's going to cheat on you. He will cheat on you. I guarantee you that because they're not loyal people. So don't date a Yankee fan. You'd be like, I'm a Yankee fan too. He's going to cheat on you easily. A goddamn Oriole fan will walk in and be like, I want to fuck that Oriole fan. Get off your phone. What are we doing here?
Sorry, I'm making sure the timing's good.
Yeah, well, get off your phone. I'm having fun here. So they're not good people. Conspiracy theorists, Yankee fans, awful human beings. Say that.
I disagree. Although I'm not as diehard Yankee fan like I used to be. But all right, let's dive in. I have Chris in previous weeks has mentioned to me a couple theories. Well, one main one, which is here's the thing. People come in with the big main ones. Obviously, we have the heavy hitters. We got JFK, CIA. We got 9/11 was fixed. We got moon landing was the last episode. You know, the hitters. His first one was a hitter. It's like a known thing. A lot of people believe it.
It's a hitter.
And then he came in with another one that he'll probably mention. He's probably got like 5 little baby ones mixed into all of them. But what is
my
your
big one?
Yeah, I want your big one. Meaning this is the one that you believe the most, and you promote the most.
This is my holy grail.
Yeah.
This is my holy grail of conspiracy. I do not believe Hitler died in World War II. I think he made it out of World War II and he died. I think he died in like the 50s though, because he was in poor health. So I think
he smoked a lot. I think.
No, meth.
Oh yeah, smoked meth.
He died. I think he died in like the 50s down in South America. Okay. I listen. I did a lot of deep dive research on this for the last 5 years of my life. Like honestly, when I was living with Pavone and Albanese, I just be up at 3 a.m, and then I come the next day. I'm like, but Hitler didn't die. Not World War II. I'm like, there's.
I can't even imagine what that house was like.
They're like, what? And I'm like, no, come on. And we go. All right, here's the deal.
What's the start off with the basic of why this is a theory to begin with.
Here's why I think this happened. So when the Allies landed in Normandy back in 1944, Hitler knew it was over. It was just a matter of time before they were going to go reach Germany and then they were going to take it over. He kind of knew they were toast. A lot of the SS soldiers knew that it was over once because they knew the only shot they had was to not let them get on land. So when they landed in Normandy, he knew it was a matter of time before it was toast. Now, if you are hell-bent on world domination and you're ready to kill people for that, you want to create a master race, wouldn't you have a backup plan? Wouldn't you have a little side plan to be like, okay, this might not go where I was thinking, we tried to we killed a lot of Jews, but our batting average was good, but we struck out in the 9th.
He had a nice 4-year run.
Yeah, we struck out the 9th with bases loaded. So okay, there's a thing called rat lines. Rat lines from Germany. Who played a big part in this?
Oh.
Catholic Church. Catholic Church played a huge part in getting SS soldiers out of Germany and down. Also, you gotta realize this: the president of Argentina, I have his name here.
Why was it Argentina though? Why were they going to Argentina?
I'll tell you why.
Because there is giant Argentinian towns that are all German right now.
Yes, it's all like German on that. The president of Argentina, Juan Perón, he was a former Nazi back in the 30s. He was a member of the Nazi organization back in the 30s, and he was friends with like Hitler and all the big SS guys. So when he became president of Argentina, he remained friends with them. And
Wait, is he German or Argentinian?
He's Spanish.
So why was he in Germany and friends with them?
Buddy, he's fucking, he's banging a German broad. I have no idea why he was there, but like that was the thing. He was there. He was hanging out. He had a strudel. It was a good time. He had a nice strudel. He wore a lederhosen, and he was partying up. The German beer is good too. So I mean,
that's about all they got going.
Get a couple German beers in you. You're like, I got some thoughts. So let's
a couple
start.
Effenweisers.
Yeah. So a lot of them went. There's very famous Nazis that were caught.
Yeah. Well, the dude that just got caught, Cleveland, they got the whole
So the
documentary about him.
Yeah.
He was the last known living Nazi.
The biggest one was probably Adolf Eichmann, who was caught in the 60s by Israel, the Mossad. The Mossad found him, and he was a big one. He was a top guy.
Where was he at the time when he was caught? In Germany?
He was in I think he was in Chile or Argentina, one of the two.
Oh.
Okay, so these are the top 7 Nazis who escaped.
Okay.
Adolf Eichmann, Joseph Mengele, who was the doctor of death.
Yes, I know him.
He literally was one of the most evil human beings to walk. They were experiment on kids, and he wanted to know if you could turn people's eyes blue. So what he would do is this is sickening. He would take blue dye and shoot it into the eyeballs of kids to try to see if it would go blue, to try to create a master race. Pure evil.
This guy's a doctor. I feel like that's not even that smart of like a doctor.
Well, they just would try anything to see if it worked. So Mengele actually died of natural causes in Brazil.
Good.
Mengele got remarried and has like a child somewhere roaming around South America.
You got to axe that. Well, you got to friggin' change your name. And
so some people got away. Mengele got away with it, and Walter Ruff, who made the gas chambers, he was the creator of the gas chambers. Franz Stangl, Josef Schwammenberger. Eirik Prepke, who was a big one. He got caught in the 90s actually because a TV crew found him in like Argentina or something like that, and they just would like, they were like, "Hey, how are you? So we want to do an interview on the street," and they were like, oh, "Okay, what's up? How you doing?" And they were like, "Yeah, blah blah." They go, "Aren't you Eirik Prepke?" And they're like, "What?" He's like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "No, you are." And then
They'd be pretty old by then because
he was in his 80s. Yeah. Then they sent that tape back to Israel, and then they went and got him. Something about Israel, Mossad do not mess around.
Especially when Nazis, they killed.
They go in and they do whatever it takes to get the job done. And the last guy is Gerhard Bohn. I don't really know what he did, but he was a big Nazi guy. Okay, let's talk about that. So these are like probably top 20 SS soldiers. These guys are fucking first level.
Right.
Yeah, like they're headliners.
Right.
They're headliners, SS soldiers. They're getting out there. They're doing 45 every night, and these guys are crushing, killing people. So these guys got out on the rat lines and the Austrian. There's an Austrian bishop named Alois Hudel who helped the rat line, and he really this guy's a piece of shit. He's supposed to love God. He helped a lot of these soldiers get out, and also like you got to realize that a lot of not high-ranking soldiers got out too.
Right.
So if you were just like a lieutenant in there and you wanted out, they got you out too. So these rat lines were so big, they paid people off. They had to realize they had all the money from the Jewish people. They had all the gold, so they would pay people off that way.
You think this is a starting before the last whatever?
Oh, this is
like they're starting to get them down there in like before
by 40,
the Allies get there.
Some of them actually went. Some of them like hid in Germany for like a year or two, then got out. And I think they got the first one that left was like 45. They were the smart ones. They knew it was over. They knew the party was coming to an end, and you got to get out before the fucking lights come on. So this is why I believe it. So Hitler knows it's over. The party's coming to an end. The lights are coming on. You got to get out of there. Hitler was famous for being very into plastic surgery. Plastic surgery was just starting. I didn't
even know it was around then.
Yeah, it was just starting out, and he was very into like learning how to do plastic surgery. What's it about? How do you do it? So you got to realize that he's very into that. Also, he got 2 assassination attempts against him. They both missed. One almost killed him. One was a bomb in his villa somewhere in Germany. They almost got him. It was very, very close. So he had body doubles with him all the time. All the time.
Really?
Yeah, he's known to go around with body doubles because he would. Sometimes they would give speeches with the body doubles because he was paranoid that someone was trying to kill him. So he's always with body doubles. He's into plastic surgery, and he dies by cyanide pill and shotgun in the bunker in Berlin.
This is what's known to be the thing, right?
Yes.
They say he killed himself.
He killed himself
with a shotgun.
He also took he said no, a pistol. Oh. He took a cyanide pill and then he shot himself.
And his chick is with them too, right?
Eva Braun, yes. I think that this is my theory. I don't know if it's true. I think he actually that was the real Eva Braun. I think he like pulled the okey doke on her. Like, I think he's like, oh, I'm taking it too, honey. You do it first, though.
And you think she took herself out, and then he got out of there.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, by the time he was going down into the bunker, were we already invading? Were they already?
It was close. It was very close.
So he would have had to have a backup group of guys to get him out other way out.
This is what. So first of all, we didn't find him. Russians did.
Okay.
The Russians found it, and Russia. They're not, they're fugazi as it is. It's fugazi in Russia.
That's for sure.
So they found his body, and then supposedly there was, they bring his body out of the bunker, the Russian soldiers, and there's like reports of the German people being like, that's not Hitler. That's not Hitler. We're telling you it's not Hitler. And they're like, yeah, whatever. Russia never let anyone see the body. Didn't let America see the body. Didn't let the British see the body at all. So basically, years later, they finally let in 98, I think it was 98. They finally let
It's a long time later.
Yeah, they finally let the corpse out, like whatever. See it? They gave his skull to America, and like here he is. It's the skull of a 35-year-old woman.
Go ahead.
Eva Braun.
This is what ticks me off. About, and this comes up a lot in conspiracy theories. Basically, what you just said. Oh, when they're pulling his body out, there's reports of people saying that's not him, that's him. Oh, 48,000 years later, it's like, oh, this is actually the skull of a... If there's any real evidence that it wasn't what it's supposed to match to, how is it not investigated further?
Okay,
I don't understand.
I got you.
There's other instances where this happens.
Okay, now I got you. Comes out Hitler shot himself after it's all over the papers in the world, right? Now, Stalin goes on, and about a month later, Stalin says something to the Russian news like, yeah, it's not his body. We don't know. We might have fucked up.
Stalin was still around?
Stalin runs like the 60s, 70s, 50s. But like, he's like, yeah, we fucked up. It's not his body. Now, everyone's like, he could have been saying that just to mess with the Americans, or he just is out there being like, yeah, it's not his body. We just met. What are the Russians are going to do to him? Take him out? No, they don't give a shit. I believe he got out. They thought he killed himself for a while. And they couldn't let that out to the because if it gets out that Hitler's actually still alive 5 to 10 years after we find out what the hell he did to Jewish people, it would be a catastrophe. A catastrophe for the world. How do you let this guy go? How do you not find his body? Right. What the hell is going on?
But the whole world would have been involved. So it's really, who do you blame? Like, we would just try.
It's America. It's America. It's England, and it's Russians.
Then we'd have to go get a whole team of people to actually go find him and kill him.
Yes, that's so.
Like we did with Bin Laden. So 10 years.
We spent in like the 50s. There's a leaked classified information that we spent over $1 million in the 50s to send troops to South America and Northern Africa where he was known to be hiding out.
Which is already disturbing, because you're basically, just by doing that, you're admitting maybe
something might be going on. I believe he either died in the 50s or we did get him. Like, they did find him and they did kill him, but they didn't say anything, because they can't let
people still think he killed himself.
Yeah, they can't let that get out, because if that gets out, it's horrible for the world. Yeah. So
that makes sense.
I truly believe he literally just got out. I think he got. There's like evidence of people being like in Argentina being like, oh yeah, he changed his face, but he lived down here.
Since he was into the plastic surgery stuff,
I think he got plastic surgery enough to,
and maybe he could have left the body double down there.
That's what I think, though. I think Ava Braun killed herself, or he shot Ava Braun. I think he tricked the fucking body double to kill the body double. He gets out, body double goes and dies. And takes the blame for that. Now there is a thing in like 2017, 18 where they did exhume a skull that they said it was his jawline. It was identical to his teeth.
Where? In Germany?
In Russia. But the Russians are fugazi. Yeah. Like, I don't trust the Russians. I mean, when's the last time you met a Russian? You're like, honest guy. Never. You never do that. I was
dealing with one this morning.
Yeah. So I think that they just said that it was his to put it to bed. Because they go, oh, yeah, it's matching identical things from a photo we have, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what are we doing here?
Right.
What are we doing here? He got out. He definitely got out.
The thing is, though, the one tough thing that I got to call you on here is the actual physical escape. If he does the body double thing, or he does the fake whatever thing in the bunker, and
has he get out?
And yeah, meanwhile Germany's being invaded by Americans, we're about to take out everything. How is he's going to some back alleyway that he's got a plane let up to get out of there? You got to
realize that, like, the reason why
the middle of the country,
the reason why Catholic Church was involved is because they didn't really go in deep in church, the Catholic Church. Because it was a place known to be like a holy place. They're not going to do anything. You let them go.
Right.
So he goes in there. You go into hiding. You're living in an attic. Shout out Anne Frank. And
R.I.P.
And you go live in an attic for a while. Then you go to these rat lines. They go to Spain, and from Spain you get in a boat and you go down to Argentina.
That's a long ride.
There is a theory that he took a U-boat down to Argentina. I don't know if that's true.
American U-boat?
No,
German?
German U-boat. Yeah, he took a German U-boat down to Argentina. And that's where he lived for the rest of his life. And there is another I forget which SS soldier it was, but But you get
down to Argentina. Let's just say he did go down to Argentina. It's whatever. It's 44. He moves it like. All the Argentinians just look at him and be like, unless he got a bunch of plastic surgery and doesn't look like what we know Hitler to look like.
Yes, that's what I think happened. He shaved his beard. I think he shaved his little stash.
Yeah, he needed to do that.
Shave his stash, gets a little plastic surgery. But you also realize that the towns that you're in are all German. They're all protected by the Third Reich. Yeah. Those are all Third Reich people. So
they're going to welcome him.
They're going to welcome him, and they're going to protect him as well. So when if there's strangers in the town, everyone knows.
Right.
Think about that. So if they would have people go down and like investigate stuff. They would be like, oh, someone's here. You get him out. Move this. There is an SS soldier that they claim to have died in 1945, and but there were like stories of him like getting out or whatever. I forget the name of the SS soldier, and they go to exhume his body back in like the 2000s, something like that. The dirt that they found in the casket is only found in South America. So that means that guy died. Then they put the body. Because there's a loyal Nazi regime still there.
Right.
It's not like gone or anything, but there is so they go take his body, bury it back in there, and they dig it up. They go, oh no, he's here the whole time. No, the dirt was only found in Argentina.
He's allegedly buried somewhere in Germany.
No one knows where he is. No, I mean the skull they had that the Russians say it's his is
that's
in
the thing.
Russia.
Whatever body they actually pulled out of that bunker back in that day, and if whoever in the world knows where he's buried, go pull out that body and freaking do a goddamn.
But the Russians wouldn't let it happen. Russians had the body and they wouldn't let anybody look at it.
Yeah.
That's the thing too.
Which is
why? Why not? And the body that they did show was that of a 35-year-old woman.
Which is insane.
Was
that Eva Braun?
I think that was Eva Braun.
35?
Yeah, she was like 35.
Because he was like, he wasn't that old.
He was old. He's in his late 40s. I think that it's I think that it was Eva Braun. I think he knew that in order to really sell this, that's got to be Eva Braun. That's got to be the real Eva Braun.
Oh, sure.
So I think he probably killed her. Because they got married down there first, actually. They got married down there, and then I think he killed her.
That's so crazy.
Himmler, actually. Himmler was number 2 in charge. That guy killed his kids, and then he killed his wife, and he killed himself.
Dipshits.
In the same bunker.
Did any of the guy on those that Power 10 list, those guys you were listing off, did any of them ever say anything?
No.
Did they know anything?
Well, they would never. They went to court. A lot of those guys went to court in Israel and then got charged with war crimes. One died like 6 years ago.
Was this the dude who was living in Cleveland?
No. That guy was
he wasn't like a high up, but he was the last known living Nazi.
Yeah, the guys that I just saw, these guys were like implemented killing the Jews. Yeah, these are like the fucking all-stars.
Yeah.
So these are the higher ups that really happened.
This guy's name was Joseph something, though, I think.
Yeah.
In Cleveland.
So there was a Nazi found in Queens like a few years ago. So
really?
Kind of hilarious. Yeah, in Glendale. Glendale's a very German town.
Like a descendant or like a current?
No. He was a Nazi. He like was working as he was a guard. He was like a guard at a camp. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And so that it's just like there's too much evidence of him like not being there. It's too much Fugazi stuff going around. That's his body. What? Because if you're him, he did say that fight to your last breath to the German people. Mm-hmm. But come on, he's a piece of shit. They legitimately thought they would escape to Argentina and start the Fourth Reich. Right. Because there were stories when they were down there that they would kidnap Argentinian kids who were very poor, and they would do experiments on them. Like Mengele was known to do experiments on Argentinian kids down there. They wanted to start the Fourth Reich down there.
And those guys
were
confirmed
plan.
to be in Argentina.
Argentina,
like Mengele was.
Mengele was found. He died of natural causes in Brazil.
All right, close enough. He probably was on vacation.
But you got to but on a beach. But you got to with a Brazilian wife, fat ass. So you got to think about they were down there. They had to move a lot.
Of course.
You always had to keep.
You're always being looked for.
You're always being looked for. You're moving constantly. You're making moves here. You're making a move there. So these guys are like pure evil, and they got out. So why wouldn't Hitler get out? I know Hitler's way more famous, but why, if you're the leader of it, you have a lot of money because you have all the gold from the Jewish people that he killed. Right. So why wouldn't you create a rat line yourself to get the hell out of there?
Yeah, you would just assume he would, even at the beginning of it all.
Why would
south?
Because I'm telling you, they knew it was over once the Allies landed on Normandy. They knew it was toast. It was a matter of time.
Right.
So they had to get out there to get. He wanted to create world domination so much that he's like, I'm willing to start over again. I'm willing to start this over again. But the only problem with him was I think he was very addicted to meth, and
could have OD'd on meth.
And I don't know if he was having his meth shots down in Argentina. Yeah. So he might have died.
He could have got down to Argentina and then just died right away.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah, very true. He could have died. I would say he probably lived another 5-6 years.
Right. Tops,
and then he probably died in Argentina. And they're not going to say anything to people that are there because they, I guess, want to have the honorable thing. But if you go down to South America, it's creepy how many German-speaking towns there are.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It's so crazy.
I don't know people who go to South America all the time, but I guess it's Argentinian specific. Because anywhere you go to an international country and then you're surrounded by people who are not from that country, I feel like is
and these are the people that are in these towns are literally direct descendants of Nazis.
Yeah.
So their ideologies are pretty much the same as them.
And it's crazy that they just stayed there forever.
And they don't let outsiders in.
Right.
When the outside, unless you're from the town of whatever, if you're a Spanish person from the town, that's fine. But if we go down there and say we wanted to visit, they would not let us go down there. They would kick us out.
Right. You have to go to only the tourist places.
Yeah. And so when
I think there were a couple docs or a couple something where guys were some reporters or somebody from the States were trying to go down to the villages.
When Prepke was found, he was found because they were celebrating, I think, Hitler's birthday on 420. and they had a party at like a beer hall in Argentina, and that's where they saw a lot of these descendants of SS soldiers, and then they see Prepke there. He's like honored by these people.
Right.
So they kind of like, that's weird. Why the honor? And then I think it was a reporter that was just there on vacation, and then she saw this guy, and then she goes, okay, that's weird. Then she did more information, more digging, and then she found out, yeah, it's Prepke. That's how you do it. So these guys are well taken care of down there,
right.
And the money does not stop. They have all this money.
Yeah.
So it's very closed off area. They don't let anybody in. They keep everything quiet. Why wouldn't Hitler go and get out of there? Why would and why hide the body? If you're the Russians, why hide the body? Why be like, oh yeah, it's him, but we're not showing you?
Right.
Wouldn't you want to show it to the world? Russia, you caught the worst person in the world. We did it, not America, not England. We did it. We would show it out. Think Stalin's afraid of fucking showing a dead body on TV?
No.
That guy showed 13 a day.
Right.
He was out there.
Yeah,
So
that's why I'm fascinated to know why he...
I think because I think they knew that if it got out, it's horrible for them. The PR is horrible. You need a marketing girl to help you out with that a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think personally, he gets out. I don't know what the hell he did after. They were gonna start the Fourth Reich down there. That was their plan.
Right.
But I guess people got captured. The money maybe wasn't the greatest down there. They couldn't. They didn't want to go to war again.
Yeah, it's going from Eastern Europe or whatever the hell they were to South America is completely different.
So the two big areas that SS Nazis were found: Northern Africa and South America. The two areas in Northern Africa, they took over Northern Africa.
Even makes it a little bit more sense because it's right there. It's like
it's not close.
It's a 4-hour flight.
No, it's not a 4-hour flight. It's about a 10-hour flight. But
from Germany to North Africa?
Yeah, it's far, dude.
Yeah, but Spain's like a 45-minute flight. How far is Germany from Spain?
It's far, dude. It's not like we see because on the map it's like, oh, it's right here. It's that much away. Yeah, we went 2 inches. Yeah, no, it's far.
Really?
Yeah, it's not close. Get out there a little more.
That's mean.
That's his fucking Jersey education.
I've never left the country. But my thing is just it's still easier to get to Northern Africa from Europe than Argentina, especially if you're on a boat. I wouldn't trust going on a boat in the 1940s for the life of me.
The reason why, well, listen, if you're gonna get hung or I guess your options are getting hung or going to South America, risking making it, and then living a good life.
I'd just be terrified to go on a boat.
So the reason why Northern Africa, South America is more known to have German people because they had a clear base there. There wasn't Hitler took
Plus,
over.
It's probably a little bit more sparse there. You could fly under the radar a little bit more.
Hitler took over Northern Africa, but they lost it. Right. The English and America, we got back in there. We freed Egypt. So I think that's the reason why they went to South America. South America was never in the war, really.
No.
So
South America's never they obviously have some issues, but they're never involved in any.
No,
they've never been involved in any wars.
And the Argentinian president, the Argentinian president is a huge part in this because he welcomes them. He actually went to the Catholic Church in 1945, 1944, and goes, the lines are open. We'll accept any of the soldiers you want to give us. He told that to the Catholic Church. So that was the first of okay, we can start doing this.
Why was the Catholic Church though?
What do you mean?
Why were they into it?
Because they were loyal to the Nazi soldiers. They were loyal to Germany.
Why though?
I mean, I don't have a.
The Germans aren't freaking Catholic.
Yes, they're Christian.
Yeah, they're Christian, but you would think the Catholic Church, and they're literally exterminating because they know that's against their.
Because not every priest is a good guy. Ask the kids.
They're pedophiles, yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta realize that some of these guys are loyal to German soldiers, and there was I found a couple of the lines that they did, but there was more than just one rat line from Spain. There was one from I think Austria was one. It's crazy how many lines.
Well, that's the thing with Hitler. He's originally from Austria. Austria is right next door. He could have skedaddled over to Austria and then got out over there.
Well, no, Austria's captured too. It's they're all there's ways to get out.
Yeah, there's probably easier way to get out.
There's definitely ways to get out, and we don't know how many rat lines there were. Right. We just know there were rat lines to get out, and it's too much evidence for me personally. I'm also a psychopath, so don't listen to me. So
it's plausible though. That's the thing.
I really think he got out. I think he was just I know it's over. Let's get out. Let's fucking start it over.
Yeah.
Not a lot of the soldiers did get out. Some obviously got caught. I think a lot of them didn't think that was a big deal. I like there was a couple that went to trial. Like, yeah, we'll just go to trial and we'll be fine. And the Nuremberg trials. Because they looked at it as like, oh, we're cleansing the world. We're actually cleaning. We're helping the world by killing Jewish people.
It's a mental thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, a lot of them are like, no, we'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But a lot of them did know that. Oh shit, we know what we're doing. We know how bad it is.
Those Nuremberg guys, they killed a bunch. They killed them all as Nazis.
I don't remember.
Or
I know
died, or went to prison and then died.
A couple did get hung. A couple did get hung from the trial. But those are the top ones.
Right.
And then a bunch of them got life in prison, and then a bunch of got prison sentences.
Mussolini, right?
Mussolini killed himself.
I thought
he was hung by the people. But in Italy, though,
Yeah,
the Italians took care of him.
How you doing?
And so it's just. For like, if you got to put yourself in Hitler's head, okay?
Yeah, I get it.
Put your little head, put yourself, go, put the mustache on, hang out. It's 44. You're getting your shit kicked in by the Allies. They're coming in left and right. Your blitzkrieg is not doing the job it used to do anymore.
Right.
You're like, shit, this is not good. I know it's not good here. They literally owned Europe. All of Europe was German. And it's slowly going back and forth. It's going down. It's going down. It's going up. They had a couple wins after Normandy where the Allies stormed the beach. They had a couple wins where they backed them off a little bit, but they could never press them back to the water and get them out.
Right.
That was over. As soon as they got out, there was too many men on land for them to get it. So it's a matter of time. You know it's coming.
I think it's definitely possible. If other than like the issues that he had to overcome would be the literal mission of getting out of there unseen or phased, and his addiction to meth. If he was on the way out from that, but if he could have, if he had 15 backup escape routes as they were getting closed in on out of the bunker, and they took out Eva Braun and it was actually her, and then maybe a body double or whatever. I could definitely see it. It's just a matter of we'll never know actually if he did and how he was able to evade capture from us. When
we will never know. There is a thing that they said the dental records show it was him. I honestly don't believe that. I don't. It's so dude. It's like 80 years later.
Well, that's my point.
And you look at a photo and go, "Oh no, it's fucking Hitler's too. That's Hitler."
That's my point with all these stories. We're never going to know for sure, in anybody. And I think now we're getting to a point where like conspiracy theories are almost like, especially on podcasts, wherever, are almost just becoming like, no, yeah, this is just what happened. Like it's being told, like all these pedophile rings, examples, all this other stuff. So it's almost like the thing is the Hitler, that's too long ago. That's like, 1940s, which is like, we don't have the technology, whatever else. But like anything that's a theory, I'd say in the last 15, 20 years going on in the future, we're going to be able to confirm at some point or another.
Yeah,
like we'll be able to confirm.
Do you think Hitler was down there like I can't get the strudel down here? This is not good. No, I need my strudel and my lederhosen. I don't like the Argentina. The Argentina not good. Yes, yeah, oh yeah.
I cannot believe that is a thing.
What?
Just like this, like I believe like just theories like that. Like that's the thing. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm like, if that happened, that's like, and we'll never be able to know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, we'll never be able to know.
Look how long it took us to look how long it took us to get Bin Laden, and that was in the 2000s.
I know.
So like it's plausible. That's my point.
The thing,
people will be like, "There's no way he could have got out and got to South America. We never could have found him." I'm like, look how long it took us to find Bin Laden. It's definitely possible.
See, here's the
thing.
We
don't even go to Argentina.
Here's why I kind of believe it too. A couple things of like the one is like you got to have a backup plan. And two, we did spend like over $1 million to send agents, CIA agents, to Northern Africa and South America.
That part gets me to think
because like if you think about it, all right, why would we do that? It was classified information until like the 2000s. Why would we do that if we knew he was dead? And even if like Russia had the body,
just to be sure,
even if Russia had the body and it was him, even though we are in a Cold War. But like Truman's got to go to Stalin and be like, you got to just, is it him? Because Stalin was like, it's not him. So you got to be like, I think that because there's back channels between Russia and U.S.
Did Stalin care if it was him or not? Like what?
He hated Hitler.
They hated each other.
Hitler invaded Russia, and they had
he was a dictator too, just like Hitler.
Yes, but he had a truce pact with Hitler. They weren't gonna invade
Russia. Russia.
And Hitler then was like, I want Russia, and he invaded Russia. And then there's a very famous photo of Stalin getting told that, and he has his head down like this because he knows he has to go to war now.
Right.
Because Russia, say what you want about the Russians, they lost 20 million people during World War II. 20 million Russians. Damn. There was a whole generation of like men that aren't around. because they died during World War II. Russia had it worse than we did by far during World War II. So that was Hitler's fault. But why he lost the war, they said, because he invaded Russia and he should not invade. He was supposed to invade Russia, I think in he wanted to do it in like February, because that's what you want to. You never want to invade Russia during the winter. You want to invade it in like February, and then you go to the spring, so it's warm. But he invaded it in like August or something like that, or July, and then he went right to the winter. And then you can't beat the Russians in the winter. It's like no, Napoleon tried it, didn't work. Hitler tried it, didn't work. So he fucked up by going into Russia. If he didn't go into Russia, there's a very good chance they win the war, because they were just destroying everybody. Right. Their tanks were better, their planes were better, their armor was better, everything was better, because Hitler literally spent the 30s building up his army, and he wasn't supposed to. During the World War II, the reason why we went to war during World War II is because of World War One, because Germany started World War One, and the Treaty of Versailles, they shouldn't. The Allies in World War I should not have done the Treaty of Versailles. The Treaty of Versailles basically put all the blame on Germany, and they basically bankrupted the country. Inflation was so high. There was no food, no jobs. Employment was like 50% of the people were unemployed. It's insane. Right. So they messed up by giving the blame to Germany. And then the reason why Hitler came to power, because he's like, hey, we're German people, we're strong, we're faithful people. This is not right. We're gonna take this back. We're gonna do this. And he was getting the people riled up, like, yeah, this is fucked up that we're blamed for this whole entire thing. We shouldn't happen. That's how he came to power, of like, okay, getting the country in order. Basically, he could speak too. Guy could get on a mic and spit, and he really brought the country back to like prominence. And he knew that. He knew that like the Treaty of Versailles could never happen again. That's why he built up the army, and he built up their like weaponry, because he's like, if they try to take us, we're better, we're stronger. Right. And the one funny thing Hitler kind of did during World War II, I gotta say this, the one kind of funny thing he did.
I do not co-sign this.
It's kind of funny. So the Treaty of Versailles was it was signed in like 1920 something in France. So like so Germany had to like what do you call it? Secede? Not secede, but like give in to that the thing they gave up. Surrender, yeah. Thank you. They gave up. So they signed that in a train in France. Okay. Hitler goes and invades France, takes it in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Now the French army messed up, because the French army was actually was the most elite army in the world at the time.
Really?
They were the best army in the world. And then Germany's literally like gearing up to go invade France, but they don't invade them yet. They just sit there. They sit there and wait for days. And France messed up. France just waited for them. France should attack them. Right. And then they might have had a better shot. But then they did the blitzkrieg on the French, and it fucking 6 weeks they were done. So as France is signing over their surrender, he goes to the museum where the train is, because it was in a museum, the train that they signed the Treaty of Versailles, gets that train out, brings it to the area where they signed the Treaty of Versailles, and makes France surrender to him in that train.
Damn.
That's kind of a gangster move. I'm sorry.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, that's kind of a gangster move he did. That's kind of cool.
That guy's a nut job.
I mean, he's a psychopath, but that's vengeance on another level.
Because he was already taking over the country, he just whipped it out of a museum. Just
took it out of a museum and goes, you're signing this here.
What a son.
Yeah, that's vengeance. It's pretty good vengeance. So he comes to power. That's why they were very, very strong army. They basically should have won the war, and we're very lucky that they didn't get the atom bomb. They got the atom bomb. Where everyone's fucked. But also, like, Hitler also doesn't believe in like science. Yeah. Yeah. So that's my take.
That was the thing. That was a very, very, very informative take.
I got so much more.
That must have been the most informative take we've had on this show.
I spent a lot of nights doing this shit, and it's not good.
This is by far your number one.
This is I love this conspiracy theory.
That's incredible.
Listen, I'm not up here going, I hope he was alive because I wanted to see my, loyal Fuhrer.
Of course not.
Hi Fuhrer. But no, but like it's fascinating. Like World War II fascinates me because literally it was all hands on deck. There was no tomorrow if we lose. We're fucked.
Yeah.
We're screwed. So it's just how everyone was just all in on this. No one complained about going to war. If you're drafted, you're drafted. You go and you fight.
Yeah, well,
and it's freaking insane how
got 6 countries
these
involved.
guys were, like just okay, we'll go fight.
Right.
We'll go over there, die for our country, and it's insane how like Hitler did just one guy just basically took over the world. Like he made a lasting impression that will never stop. Probably, we're still feeling it now. I mean. He doesn't go to World War II. He doesn't kill all the Jewish people. The Jewish people probably don't get Israel.
Right.
So that's going on now still. Israel versus, that's going on for 6,000 years. But that is a spin-off of World War II, basically.
Yeah.
So you gotta realize that. Yeah, it's all caused the butterfly effect, basically. So it's crazy how much this guy really disrupted the world and how we're still seeing shit from him now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Were you a history student at all?
No, but I love World War II.
Yeah, a lot of comedians are into World War II and history in general.
I like history. History's fun.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, it's fun, dude. To have a good time.
To have a good time.
Have a good time.
You gotta look at the history to see, what has
World War II is my favorite.
Now.
But like,
I think World War II is definitely the most interesting. Because there was just so much involved. There was so many countries. There were so many psychopaths.
Dude, there's so much involved.
It was the only time atomic bombs were ever used. Like, there's a million reasons why World War II is the most fun.
Dude, there's so much spy stuff that went on during the World War II. Like,
there's probably even tons of other conspiracies just about World War II that doesn't even involve Hitler.
I'm sure there is. But, like, James Bond came out of World War II.
What do you mean?
James Bond, the guy who wrote James Bond, was a British soldier.
Oh, really?
Who got the idea? He got the idea of James Bond because there was a I forget where this guy was from, but he's like a playboy basically, and he was a spy for both sides.
Oh, really?
And he was like this like wealthy guy that was he's charming. He was so charming, and like everyone loved him. Everyone wanted to be around him, and the Germans liked him. And the Germans thought he was spying for them, but he was a double agent for us.
Oh, damn.
He was the one that actually tricked the Germans on where they were going to land on Normandy. So that was the whole thing, like where we're going to land in France, because that's where that's the big day of like we had to get on the least resistance. Right. So he kind of misled Germany and said they were going down the road basically. They go like 100 miles south or whatever in France, and they believed him. There's a couple things besides him that made them see that, but. He was the one that told and they believed him so much. They were like, he's not lying. This guy's been loyal to us. He's not lying at all. Cool. And then, even though like Normandy was a big fight, they had the least troops there out of all their locations. Actually, right. That's how we were able to get on land. We put fake trucks like 100 miles down south. Really? We put blow up trucks down south like we were invading. It was crazy what we did.
Holy shit! I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah,
that's incredible.
This is good stuff.
Chris is a wild guy.
I'm a wild boy. I got more.
We got more. I started timing at 10 minutes in. What is look, Hitler
is this fun for people? I don't know. I'm just talking in my ass. I have no idea. But
yeah, of course. I mean, it's gonna have about 35 viewers, but conspiracy theories I think anybody can really get into. Like, you just have to, that's my whole point with this show, is you just have to have the person who like has a bunch of knowledge on it, like you, talk to you about it for like 5-10 minutes, and then next thing you know, you're like, oh yeah, I could see that, and then you get into it. That's the thing. That's why my thing is with conspiracies or unsolved stuff is, especially like Hitler's a good one, because anything where, granted, they think they found his body, the teeth, the whole nine, whatever, but some of the reasons I get into some of these other unsolved missing person cases, because there was no body ever recovered, there was no blood evidence, there was no anything. So the fun of it is just being like, what the hell could have happened to this person? And then you go watch a podcast where they cover that for 3 hours, and they come up with all the theories, like they could have changed her identity, moved here, they might have been murdered and buried the body there, they never found it, and then all these things, but there's no actual definitive proof. That's what gets me fascinated, because I'm like, well, which one was it? So like that's why unsolved missing people is like one of my favorite things. Yeah. And there's a lot of famous ones in the United States specifically.
You got a good one? Let's hear it.
Well, there's big ones that are always talked about is Maura Murray. You know the Maura Murray case? No. Maura Murray, she was this girl in Boston. She actually, which was, I just found out recently, Joe List, New York comedian, went to high school with her. Really? And he never brought it up. He brought it up once on a podcast like a month ago, and I was like, you should probably talk about this more. It's kind of fun. Anyway, she was this girl who went missing in going through some stuff, whatever. But she was a college student. This is like '04, which is not that long ago, too. Which kind of why it fascinates me. And she is living it. She's going to like UMass. And she just takes off. She's going through some personal stuff, whatever. But she just takes off one day. It's like February. She takes off and she drives off campus, drives to a liquor store. There's like a CC footage of her taking some money out of the ATM and then buying some booze at a liquor store. And then she just starts driving up towards like New Hampshire and whatever else. Gets into a wreck on this curvy road in New Hampshire. Like crashes into a snowbank. Calling triple. She's calling whatever tow truck. This guy comes, helps her out. Leaves for a second, and then she's waiting for somebody to come get her, and then people get there. Next thing you know, and she's gone, and they never found her again. It searched the entire area. No footprint evidence, no body, no blood in the car, no nothing. All her belongings are left in the car, which always makes me think
aliens.
Sketchy. Aliens. They think there's a theory that because she was going through some stuff, so people have this theory that she wanted to like kind of disappear. So people have this theory that she had somebody waiting for her or tracking her, following her up there, and then once the car thing happened, went with them to escape fully. They think she moved to Canada.
She hot?
Her identity. She was all right.
Mediocre, and she's gotten guys do this for her?
She was
that puss must be good.
There was a theory that she was banging her professor, and he got her pregnant, and she wanted to escape. She had gotten into some stuff previously with the law. There's just all these theories, but my thing is
my kind of girl.
No body, no footprints, no evidence. There's a famous guy, I forget his name, Brandon something, in Ohio. CC footage went out for the night to party with
I've heard that one. Yeah.
I forget his name. And it's in Columbus, Ohio. Goes out for his night with the boys. He's about to go to like Aruba the next day with his girl on a vacation. Goes out with his boys. CC footage sees him coming into the bar. He gets banged up. He's hitting on some chicks. CC footage never sees him leaving the bar.
Yeah,
He's never seen again. Never found him. They think there was a construction site on the roof. They think he got banged up and started like walking up to the roof because he was drunk and fell into the construction thing. And then the construction for the town covered it up.
Jesus.
There's all these theories just because they never found him ever again.
That's a fun one. I've heard that one.
Those are the ones that fascinate me.
Those are good. Yeah.
It's like, oh, this guy went missing and then 14 years later they found the body and some guy murdered him. That's boring to me because it's like, all right, they found.
Okay, I got you.
They know he was murdered.
I got you.
But there's a bunch of very popular ones. There's some more recent ones. This kid. This was like during COVID. This kid was driving home from college in Texas, back home for break or whatever. It was like a 2-3 hour drive. He's driving home. All of a sudden, he gets a call. Or he has some car troubles. He's off on the side of the road.
Always car trouble.
He's either calling 911 or somebody like drives by and sees whatever else, and he's naked on the side of the road. Or they come upon his car like crashed out into the grass, lights on, stuff's in there, he's nowhere to be found. All of his clothes are all over the place as if he's stripped naked. Never found him. Never found again. Never found his body. Nothing. Like, it's just the weirdest shit ever.
That's not a
That was
bad
like
one.
2 years ago.
Yeah, that's a fun one too.
But there's a bunch of ones from like the Midwest. Ohio has a lot.
Midwest,
of
bro, like it's a free for all out there.
Ohio's a free for all. If you look up, Ohio has like the most like missing person cases and murder, like serial killers.
Serial killers. Like every time I go to the Midwest and do shows, I'm just nervous. There's a serial killing crowd.
I feel like there is.
I'm like, there's gotta be. They're all from there.
Like Illinois, Ohio. I think Bundy was from somewhere over there.
Bundy, OG.
He was in Utah for a long time.
There's not many serial killers in the Northeast. We're not known for our serial killers.
No, I mean we had Son of Sam, Boston Strangler.
I mean, yeah, but like he would just shot people. Like a serial killer is a guy that goes out, kidnaps people, kills them, buries their body.
BTK killer he covered
the
it up
BTK
forever.
is more. Did you see how he got caught?
Dude, I was watching.
Do you know how he got caught? By the way.
Was that recently?
No, it was like 20 years ago. But this is how he got caught. There's a CD-ROM that he wanted to show the cops, and he literally wrote a letter to the cops. Goes, hey, if I give you the CD-ROM, can you track me to where I got it from? The FBI's like, no, we can't at all. What are you talking about? We can't do that. That's crazy. And he sent it in, and they just tracked it down to his church. Well, like you're a moron,
dude. That guy he had like a full family and everything.
I know, but dumb. I mean, why would you ask the people that are hunting you down if you can catch me if I do that, of course they're going to say no.
Wanted to get caught, maybe.
No, I think he's just a fucking dumb Midwestern guy.
Yeah, he's from like Kentucky.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, the law is going to help me now.
There's a YouTube interview where they're interviewing his daughter about everything because he had like full family, full father, everything while he was doing this on the side.
That's tough. If your
Bundy
parents...
was similar. Bundy had like a wife or a chick he was seeing, and he would go, leave, do the murder, come back like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah, I mean that's another. But like, if you're the daughter of that, that's a rough life to come back from.
Oh yeah, dude,
that's a rough one. My other conspiracy is this quick. This is a new one. I like this one. I believe there are powers that be that run the world. I believe there's like 50 people that run the world.
50?
I say because like the politicians, they're all
less,
maybe less. Yeah, they're all bought and sold. Politicians all bought and sold by these people. They control everything. They're the richest people in the world. Is actually a very famous quote. Millionaires don't believe in astrology, but billionaires do.
Millionaires don't believe in astrology?
Yeah. Because the moon, like with the moon and the stars, that's how they communicate with each other. It's like through the moon and like when to do certain things.
Right.
Because of how they follow astrology. So these rich people they control everything. They control the banks, corporations. The pharmaceutical corporate, they control everything. There's so much money. I believe they're trying to get rid of the middle class. They know they can't do it overnight, but you can do it for a generation. You can get rid of the middle class so like our generation, they either want us to be rich or they want us to be poor, because the middle class people don't need the government to live. Mm-hmm. We make our own money. We don't need help or assistance from the government at all. So they don't really need us. We don't really need them. But poor people do.
Yeah.
And rich people make the laws.
Right.
So they want poor and rich. Now, they're doing things to get rid of the middle class, like this congestion tax in the city. I 100% believe this is one thing that they're going to do that's going to either going to make people poor. It says 90% of the middle class people will go poor and 10% will go rich. They'll figure out a way to make money somehow. So they're going to during a generation, they'll just slowly bleed us out of money. Rent's so high. They're not giving us more money. If you go congestion in the city, they're not paying us more. Right. So we're losing money constantly. So this is just one little thing that they're going to do, because they're going to do it in LA too. LA's next with the congestion pricing. So they're going to definitely do that. And there's just so many, they're increasing rents. The salaries are not increasing, but the rents are increasing. Food is increasing. Everything is increasing to bleed us a little drier slowly. Because they can't do it overnight. They can do it in a generation, though. There's a very famous a thing that happened in Japan. So Japan didn't have coffee until like the 90s or something like that. They just never grew up with coffee. They grew up with tea. Tea was the number one. So the coffee people were like, we have to get into Japan. How are we going to get into this market? We can't just throw coffee at them because they're not used to coffee.
Right.
You need to get a generation into coffee. So what they did was, they got a cartoon that was coffee beans, and they showed it to the youth of Japan. And the youth of Japan used to watch this coffee bean cartoon show, and they loved it. It was a very popular show. And as that generation got older, they started to drink coffee. So that's how they got coffee into Japan, slowly. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen over time. So that's one thing they did to get them into making money in coffee. So I think they're doing that with depleting the wealth of the middle class people. Slowly. There'll be other shit going on that you'll see like, oh shit, why is this happening? More money, more money, more money.
That makes sense, because I think it's literally like right now, even right now in time, is probably the worst it's been in terms of just pricing, food,
Yeah, everyone's complaining about like, oh, it's Biden's fault, whatever. I mean, whatever you want, I don't care. But like, it's not going to go down. Like, rent's not going to drop $1,000. I'm not going to have a $500 rent bill if Trump gets elected. It's not going to happen. Yeah. It's still going to be high.
Yeah.
And no one's not paying me more money to do that.
Right.
So they're either gonna make us poor or make us rich. They want poor. Because poor is poor that they need. Then we depend on them for handouts, and they'll have this group of rich people that like, oh, they'll just help us. They'll just give us. They'll make the laws with us.
Right.
Why is insider trading stock market allowed? Because they make the laws. The Pelosi and all them, they make the laws that basically say that they can stock trade. Right. They get all the information. So they're going rich. The powers that be are going rich. We're going poor. So there's other stuff that will happen. You'll see just over time.
The congestion prices are already insane. They're saying that's supposed to take effect June sometime.
Yeah, sometime June. It's
literally going to be it's going to cost like $24 just to go from borough to borough, which makes no sense because it's all the same city. So it's already $16 to go to Staten Island, even though Staten Island is New York City. It's one of the boroughs, and now it's going to be $24 to go from Brooklyn to Queens, Brooklyn to Manhattan, Manhattan to Queens. It's like what do they? It's ridiculous.
They have this. The city of New York has no money because they a lot's going to the migrants. So this is what they're doing for that. They're trying to get money back from us.
Yeah, they're scumbags.
So that's one thing they're doing. So that, I mean, it's not gonna help us. Like I'll be like, hey, I'll do a show, but after 9 o'clock. Like I'm not gonna. I can't afford.
What is there going to be hours on the?
Yeah. It's up. It's 6 in the morning till 9 at night.
Jesus.
So like, it's like I'm not going to spend $15 just to go back into the city.
Yeah.
And my company's not going to pay more. Like they don't give a fuck. They're not giving me more money. No way.
No, of course not.
So is there all these little things that will happen, and you'll see over time. You'll see that because our parents are better off than we will ever be.
Oh, yeah.
They will have more money and more wealth than we will not have the wealth that they accumulated. So that's already a positive for them, for the powers that be. We're already slowly, losing money. And how many people do you know own a house?
None. I've been doing a bit about this because there's a kid in the front row the other night, and he was 25 and he has a house. And he just bought a house. I mean, it's in a kind of a modest town, small house, and he works in finance. But I couldn't believe it. I was like, "You're 25 and you bought a house?"
Okay, but that's one kid Yeah. Back in the day, everyone owned a house.
Oh yeah,
everyone owned a house.
Well, also especially around here, I think if we were having this podcast in like Arkansas right now, most people we know would own a house because it's so cheap. But this is specific to the coasts and to where it's just ridiculous, Northeast, West Coast. But in the mid, we could probably buy a house in Ohio like right now. But
I mean, maybe you can. I can't. But
no, I can't. I mean, I could maybe put down on.
So so this is what they're doing. They're trying to bleed us dry. I know I sound like a crazy person, but I'm up late at night. I have nothing to do.
I mean, it's obvious. Yeah, I mean, it's like we're getting screwed left and right.
I need a girlfriend bad. It's getting bad for me.
I have a girlfriend, and I'm freaking worried about it.
It's getting bad for me. I really just all I do is look at conspiracy theories. It's so much fun though.
It is fun.
It's so much fun that you sit there.
There's nothing more fun than getting home and it's like 11, 12 at night, and you just banging out some conspiracy theory videos on YouTube. Plus, my algorithm's all just set up for comedy podcasts, conspiracy theories, and unsolved murders.
Rogan's good at that. Rogan will pop someone will be on Rogan and they'll pop in a conspiracy theory and I just dive right into it.
Yeah,
it's so good. I think the civilizations there's lost civilizations that we're just finding now. I think that's 100% true because they say that humans only came 6,000 years ago. No, that's not true at all.
Longer?
Yeah, way longer.
6,000. I don't even know how long that is.
So it's 6,000 years.
Well, however, saying from the first caveman was 6,000 years.
Yeah.
Say? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like a long time. It's probably not that long. 6,
so there's all the conspiracy theories. You should write in to see your favorite conspiracy theory. Let me know
your favorite conspiracy theory.
I want to know. Write it on the YouTube comments. Like which ones you like the most. Which one do you think about the most?
I'm waiting for people to bring up mole people
because it's funny, but. The congestion pricing, that's my new one that I'm 100% certain this is happening.
Yeah,
and
that one's easy.
The other one's just fun. It's a fun one to do.
We've had some fun ones. We had to. Anybody's going to bring in a pedophile ring. The next pedophile ring to come out, we'll see.
I'm done with pedophile rings. I'm done with it. It's so like.
You just have to assume anybody who has enough money.
You're rich and you're white. Oh, it's so cliche to be a pedophile. Ooh.
Yeah.
Be something cooler than that. Be something better. Why don't you? When are these fucking old pedophiles gonna mix it up a little bit? When are you gonna bring something new to the table?
They got nothing else to do.
That's all they do is they like, oh, you're a rich old guy. I'm gonna start a pedophile ring in Hollywood. Ooh, you're basic. You're a basic old rich person.
You're basic. Please
do something different. Make it fun.
Birds are real.
What do we do? The bird one's fun. The bird one's fun. That's a crazy one.
That is a crazy one.
Yeah. The pedophile ring. I'm so over that one. Can we get something new? Get some new blood in here.
Yeah.
If you were really rich, what would you do? I'd buy the Mets, first off. And I just, if I was so rich, I'd buy MLB.
Well, you have to negotiate to buy the Mets. Yeah, you could probably buy the MLB.
I'd buy the MLB, right? And I just cancel 29 teams, and every year the Mets win the World Series.
So, it's boring, though. It takes the fun
I know, it's fun for me.
It takes the fun out of it.
And you know what? One year, I'm going to pitch for them.
People think the theory is that all the leagues are fixed anyway.
No, that's not true.
I don't think it's true now for the NBA because you got all these small market teams are in now.
Not even that, but
the freaking Timberwolves beating the Nuggets, and those are both tiny market teams. But
fixed is
LeBron
different though.
got
Like
swept.
the fix is different. They lost in 5. Fixed is different where, like, you could fix an NBA game. You just foul.
If you get the refs, or if you get a ref or player involved, you can fix anything.
Well, the Franchise guy, he says that there's more than the Tim Donaghy because we owned a few refs. There's multiple. Yeah, just fouls.
I'm sure you did. I mean, dude, it's hard to persuade a guy, and even a ref who probably makes decent money. I think they make like 6 figures, to be like, hey, fake a couple calls, and we're going to give you a
just
cut.
foul their best player.
That's my whole point. Is these guys who pre-internet 10, 15 years ago looked at as like criminals. Everyone was like Tim Donaghy, scumbag. 10 years later, they have their own documentary. They have a podcast saying, like, yeah, like, I needed the money. This is, and then everyone's just like, okay, yeah. I mean, what are we gonna do? It's not like we're gonna, he did his time, whatever else. Same with like, anybody who did anything bad. Like now they have like a gig on ESPN, like Michael Vick or whoever. Not that he's on ESPN, but I'm just saying, like, it's like after enough time goes by, most people start to just not give a shit. Unless you killed or raped people, nobody really cares after a certain time.
I don't even think that at all. I mean.
Well, yeah, not even killed. Look at Mike Franchise and all the mob guys.
How about that? How about everyone's going crazy about the Chiefs kicker?
What did he do?
He said that women should just be in the kitchen, which kind of agree.
Is he Italian?
No, behind his bucket. He's like a Midwestern white guy.
Oh, yeah, he's like, he was raised.
He's just and then like they were like, oh, we got to cancel him, but they also didn't fucking cancel the fact that Rashid Rice is on the Chiefs and he killed somebody in a car accident. It's like, you're upset about this guy, but not Rashid Rice who killed somebody. It's like you're losers.
It's a joke. It's all a joke.
It's all a joke.
It really is. Everything's fake now.
Conspiracy theories are fun. Please write us in,
guys. Thank you guys for listening. Please write us in. Okay. It's Chris Scopo. You guys are I want you guys to watch this episode in depth because Chris brought a lot of history to the table. Thank you guys for watching, listening. Chris, for whoever ends up watching, viewing.
June 9th, New York Comedy Club. I'm doing my album taping. Come check it out. Ticket link is in my Instagram bio. Come party with me.
Got that? Check it out. I'm going to come there. I'm going to come through.
Thanks, buddy.
And we'll fucking hold each other. Guys, please follow me on Instagram at Tom Zappia. Got a couple shows coming up outside of the city. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time.